What to do? I'm Wood Dude. And today, I'm going to be building a weird wooden end table for my sister. And at the end, we'll see what she thinks about it. Oh no. Gosh dang it. Before this all started, my sister mentioned she liked the look of this end table here. I thought she was joking because this one is just it's so boring and dumb. So instead, I'm going to build her a nightstand that's completely the opposite of what she wants because I'm her brother and I know what's best. Starting with the top. It's basically a box, but I've added this woven wood pattern where I weave curly maple into some rustic walnut. I've done this before on a much smaller scale on an upholstered bench I made a few weeks ago. This time, I want to make it so the woven wooden pattern continues over the edge as I turn it into a box. You'll see. First, I got some walnut and maple that I stuck on top of each other and just sent it through my bandsaw, cutting a soft but large curve right down the middle. I can then take one half of the maple and the other half of walnut and stick them together like this, creating a kind of yin-yang type situation. I glued those two halves together with a thin strip of walnut in between to help hide any gaps. Once dried, I flattened and milled it all up and stuck those two planks on top of each other again. And you guessed it, sent it through my bandsaw to cut a large curve one more time to get my final pattern. Now that I have my woven pattern, I can turn it into a box. I just needed to trace where my box sides are going to end up. You know, like what sizes are they going to be? Quick tip, whenever doing a mitered waterfall edge of any kind, I recommend first making a 90-degree cut to get the length of the sides, and then your 45-degree miters. It's way easier that way and it's much less stressful on your saw blade. Once I got all the sides cut and mitered, I glued up everything using the old painter's tape and ratchet strap trick. I did have to make one blank plank of walnut without the woven pattern for the bottom of the box, because I only had enough for like 3 sides. And I also made another blank piece to act as the middle shelf, which slides into a couple of dados on the inside. I do have to admit, it was a tight fit. Maybe, too tight to be honest. It took many hammer blows, and I was really nervous the glue was going to set before I was able to get the shelf all the way in. But I got it, probably in the nick of time, and once it was done, my forearms were absolutely on fire. I haven't felt this way since I hit puberty. Now, the top wasn't completely done, but before I continued, I needed to make a base. Although I admit I did toy around with the idea of just sending my sister a box and calling it an end table, just a very short one. For the base, I got inspired by these angled legs that I saw while browsing on Pinterest. I just thought they looked so cool. So I designed my own legs that have a little less angle and more curve, because evidently that makes it more feminine, I think. The base was fairly easy because most of the work was done by my CNC. And then cut my own straight piece in the middle to connect the two curved pieces. Getting the angles so the legs came together was a little tricky. I could have used math, but I don't like math. So I just kept adjusting my miter saw until I got it just right. Once they were glued up, I realized that the miters aren't great. And that's not good, because if anyone puts any weight on these legs, it's probably going to snap. So I took this opportunity to add a bow tie. For those not educated in the way of the wood, a bow tie in woodworking is a piece of wood in the shape of a bow tie, go figure, used usually to span a huge crack in the wood and help it keep it from spreading and getting worse. In this case, I'm going to use it to strengthen my miter's joints, just like a spline. I had my CNC cut the bow tie, which honestly looked more like butterfly, and I routed a hole in the same size and shape of the tie, using a template that I had laser cut out of acrylic. Then with a little glue and some percussive persuasion, I hammered in the maple bow tie to add some contrast to the walnut legs. Finally, I connected the two legs assemblies together by cutting in a half lap joint and gluing in some thick walnut cross members. And this baby was solid as a rock. Now, to combine the mitered box with the curvy base legs, I could have just screwed them together, but that looks stupid.
I hate it.
It needed some neck, so to speak. So I cut some 2-inch spacer out of some 1-inch thick birch dowel rods, lifting the box above the base just enough. I used screws to connect the spacers to the base and the box. But wait, there's more. I wanted to add a little door to cover the bottom half of the box. And I'm going to be getting inspired by a woodworker a YouTuber named Yarmles, one of those. He made a liquor cabinet where he basket weaved into a door. I'm copying that, so not only will I have a box with a woven wood pattern on top and the sides, but I have a door with literal woven wood. And it turned out to be fairly simple. Just cut a bunch of thin strips of maple, and then you weave it. They bend fairly easily, at least until they don't and they break. Dialing in the thickness of the strips is honestly probably the hardest part. Once you got it, you just alternate between going over and under, then just do the opposite on the next layer. Once I was done with my weaving, I cut a few pieces of walnut to be my door frame and glued it all together. After all that, I still screwed up, because the size of the door, I made it too small. Dang it! So I added some wings on the sides and the bottom of the door to make it fit better. I screwed in some hinges on the bottom to connect the door to the end table, and glued in some magnets to keep that door closed. Then after some final sanding and wiping on some finish, I can stand back, take a deep breath, and admire what cost $200 and 2 weeks to build. But surprise, motherfucker! It was because I built a second end table primarily from maple that's the exact same design, albeit I think it's a little smaller. I did basically everything I did before, but all over again. It may be one of my more unique designs. Some might say ugly, but damn it, do I love it. And I think my sister will too. But that's where we went into a problem, because this is the table she asked me to make. And though I think it's fugly, I spent a few days building basically the exact same table out of some white oak. Even though it was incredibly boring, here it is. This is what I'm actually going to say to my sister because, well, it's the stool she actually wanted. But I'm not happy about it. Alright.
What do you want me to say?
Be genuine. This is not like I have a script or anything. Just, if you hate it, you hate it.
Oh my goodness. I love this.
What does it say on there?
From the best woodworker to an average sister. I think you got that a little bit backwards.
Okay. Well, you ran over my toe once, so, I don't know.
Here are the legs for it.
Oh no. Did something come broken? Gosh dang it. Oh, son of a gun horse.
UPS, or USPS. I love it. Thank you.
I was going to do complete opposite, and it'd be a surprise for everybody, but I decided, I guess I can give you what you want. This is what I was thinking about making for you.
Oh my god. That looks like a spider jukebox.
I guess good taste doesn't run in the family. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Peace.